GWEIKE reached out to us and asked if we want to test out their 30-watt fiber laser, and I said, a laser that can cut metal? Heck yeah, send it over.
My name is Eric Strebel. I'm an industrial designer. Welcome to my channel about product design and making.
Do you ever get home with all your things, but you have nowhere to set them, so they all just end up in an ugly, disorganized, and hard to work with pile like this, causing you unneeded stress? Well, don't let it ruin your life. Just get an Alfred backpack hanger. It's reliable, versatile, sturdy, and it holds your stuff. Available in stainless steel and aluminum. Get yours today.
Did you know that this video's sponsor, PCBWay, actually offers 3D printing services that I use? FDM, SLA, and SLS. I use them for larger SLA prints and for SLS nylon parts. They also offered laser sintering for metal parts such as aluminum, stainless steel, titanium, and tool steel. Check them out for your next project. Link in the description below. What have we here? This is the GWEIKE G2 Pro. This is the 30-watt version fiber laser that they sell. They sell other products as well. This is how it comes boxed up. So it's boxed quite well, actually. Not crazy about the foam here. They could have used cardboard instead, but it is well and securely packaged, and the package isn't that big. It comes in parts and it'll need to be assembled. All right, there's the laser head and then the main laser unit. So some assembly is required. That's the cap. Remember to remove that before you use the unit, or you won't be laser etching anything. I don't know what that stuff is. Comes off. Looks like something fell off. All right, let's do some assembly. It's all pretty straightforward. All the screws are included, and we'll put this together the best we can with the provided Allen keys. Nice when you don't need any tools. That goes together, and we'll try to put the head on here. I'm having some tough time with that. So we'll remove that bracket or that flange or whatever you want to call it. And we'll put it directly on here and then attach it. There you go. All right, now there's no Wi-Fi on this thing, so we have to have it close to the actual computer in the shop. The first USB cable, old school USB, that's for hooking it up to your computer. There's the power, and then there's a little USB-C cable here that hooks up the unit for up and down. We're inside the G-Laser software. So this is the native Mac OS software that GWEIKE makes for the laser. And we're just cutting out, or we're just etching, some cardboard, although we do end up cutting it out. So this is our first test. Before we do any sort of metal cutting or whatever, we just want to get an idea of how this thing performs. Now, you'll see all this smoke and soot coming off of here. This laser is not contained, right? It doesn't have a box around it. So you need some sort of ventilation, because actually this laser is meant to be portable. It comes with like a shield so that you can move it around your shop. You'd need to use the mobile version. And it comes with like a hood that you could use, but you need some ventilation in your shop when you do this. It definitely smells and is an issue. Let's cut a little bit more cardboard. You see this on commercials all the time where you're just lasering off stuff on steel. Okay, let's actually do some engraving. Now these are steel angle blocks for our milling machine, and we're etching in the degrees of the angle blocks. And you can see things are flipped over. There's a little button somewhere that we eventually found that showed us how to flip the image, but it wasn't on by default that way. So we're just going through and marking each one the degrees, and it works quite well on steel. Very impressive, and doesn't come off or anything like that. It's really great for stuff like this. Some of these are getting 2 passes depending upon what's needed. Yeah, and so this comes out really nice. Let's try this on some other materials because we can. So we're using some acrylic here, and it really, you can see how it distorts the acrylic and stuff, and it's really not meant to cut acrylic. You're not getting a clean line like a CO2 laser. It's really meant for steel, and this is where it excels. Now here we're actually cutting out some discs. So this steel is probably about 2 millimeters thick, something like that. Maybe it takes 20 passes, but we can get some, nice discs that we couldn't normally get, or pieces out of steel. And they could be pretty intricate as well, and so this is a great capability. Here's some wood, just this try wood. We have limited success. Again, here's a piece of steel, and what we're trying to do is we're trying to cut out something out of metal so we can check the dimensional accuracy of these parts. So these are supposed to be 10 millimeters, and you can see we're in the 15 millimeter range. So and these are supposed to be 5, and they look more like 7 or 8. So there's some basic accuracy issues with the laser. It just seems like you got to get this straightened out. You can't have that. Now, it might be better if you use light burn. I don't know. We didn't use light burn because we don't have the latest version of light burn to use with this laser. But dimensional accuracy is not accurate in any way, shape, or form. You can scale your graphics up and down to get them to be dimensionally accurate, but that's a pain in the ass. It seems pretty basic. Here we're just cutting some thin paper, and again, just doesn't really work for this. It's really meant to cut out metal. Here are my thoughts on the G2 laser from GWEIKE, or however you say it. It's really only for metal. You can cut some other materials and etch them or whatever, but it's really made for metal. So remember that when you're buying this machine. If you think you're going to cut all this other kind of stuff with it, it's really for metal and very few other special materials. It really works well on steel. Those are the best results. You get the blackest marking. It works well on aluminum and brass. Copper is really hit or miss. I think the copper is either the wrong color or it's just too soft and just doesn't mark really great. But on steel, it's absolutely fantastic. I mean, I haven't tried it on nickel or anything like that. I don't have a sample of that, but it really works well on steel. And so I'm very grateful for the machine and to have the capabilities, and then to have the capability of, cutting, let's say, a light steel sheet and cutting a shape out. That's something that I don't have the capabilities to do with any other machines other than by hand. And cutting out a complex shape out of a piece of steel, even if it takes 30 minutes, is better than doing it by hand. It has too many cables. They really could commonize the cables and
make them a little bit longer, and it really needs Wi-Fi to be used effectively, because I'm tethered to my computer to use this machine, and I would really like to have it set up somewhere else where I can set everything up and then just push the button and have it be more than 5 feet away from my computer. That would be good. Now, I only used the GWEIKE Glazer software on the Mac, and it's atrocious. Absolutely terrible. It's not intuitive. Doesn't follow standards for Apple's software. Things aren't in the right spot for the icons and in the toolbars and things like that. It's severely out of date. Does it work? Yes. It has some issues with scale. We had also a lot of issues with the laser randomly moving up and down during a rotary engraving, and so we ended up unplugging the USB cable so that it couldn't talk to the machine and do that. Why the software hasn't been updated in literally years, I don't know. Now, it does work with Lightburn, but I don't have the latest version of Lightburn to test it out with, and someday I will probably upgrade to that, and then I'll be able to test it, and I'll probably be a lot more happy. But right now, I just tested it with their native Glazer. Dimensional accuracy is also an issue with this machine. If you build something to scale in the software or import it or whatever, it doesn't cut it out to the same size. Now, you can scale the graphic in the application, and that's what we have to do, and that's a pain in the ass. But that really needs to be updated. It's pretty basic kind of stuff to not have dimensional accuracy or even be close is an issue. And hopefully that's going to get fixed. And who knows, maybe that it works in Lightburn to be the correct dimension. I'm not really sure. All in all, I'm pretty happy with the ability to cut and etch metals. Do I wish I had a higher powered laser? Yes, that way I could get things done faster and possibly etch copper a little bit better, which would be a really nice thing for me. They do make higher powered lasers. I would love to get my hands on one and have those capabilities. If you're a manufacturer of a machine like that, feel free to reach out. But for now, really nice to have this capability to be able to deal with metal, something that I've not been able to do in the past, and so I'm really grateful to have that capability at this point.
Here's a super sneak peek. We've made these modified X-Acto gripsters in the past just out of a piece of copper tubing. We're going to start selling these on the website. Stainless steel, brass, aluminum, and copper. Beautifully etched on stainless steel. Copper was a little more difficult.
Make sure you give the video a thumbs up, and don't forget to subscribe if you haven't already done so. Make sure to hit the bell so you get notifications every time I have a new video. Don't forget to follow me on social media at Bots and Design. I'm now on Blue Sky and unfortunately still on Instagram. Rock on. Don't forget to check out the t-shirts and hoodies in the merch shelf below. Click here to check out some of the other design and making videos that I have that you might enjoy.